So in the last video, we saw how to identify and tag basically when any one of these five fields are null and how to validate. So we ended up basically and exporting a list of these products so that the teams actually could, the operational team will look at it in the ERP and will fix it. So this is going to take a few days while we continue. So what do we want to really do in inventory management? So when I asked this to the customer, this is a textile customer, so let's talk about a few things here. Most of the products are non-repeatable. The things like what you buy on a typical supermarket or a dress shop, right? Your shirts, pants, they come in once and go, and they are not really repeated. But then there are products which are repeated, like a typical white cotton cloth, and there are a lot of these things. I don't understand this that well, except as a consumer. So there are certain products which are repeatable, and the customer first wanted to look at the inventory of these repeat products, because these are the items when they reach a minimum stock level, they want to trigger an order. Yeah, so this is the first step we really want to do. So the key question I asked is, so is there a flag called repeat products in your ERP product master? But unfortunately, no. This info is not there in the ERP. So that was surprising. So I said, okay, why not? It turns out the rule for identifying a repeat product is not really very easy. It's not done at a product by product level, so but it is done at 2 3 different levels. As you have seen, vertical was the highest level of organization, like a department. So where there are 5 6 values, when it is one of the two values, this PT or ST, all of those items are under these two verticals are considered repeat. Or in any other vertical, if the style, which is basically the last level in this 5 step hierarchy, vertical followed by segment followed by two other things, finally is the style. If the style is any of these three values, then it's a repeat. So then the challenge is, how do we flag these repeat products in Tableau? This is what we want to do. So just to connect back to one of the things that we have done in the last two videos, when we are doing a or kind of a filtering, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So we'll have to end up writing a calculated field to do this R. But then here in this case, so in vertical we want to pick one or two values, and then in style we want to pick another three values. And how do we really write this? Do we have to do one by one? I mean, which is one approach, but there is a slightly more easier approach, let's say. So here is where we started last time, right? So what I'm gonna do is, in order not to disturb this, I'm just gonna create a duplicate of this and get rid of this key field thing. So that's not our concern anymore. So let's keep it at the beginning. So here we want to basically identify repeat products. Let's remove the things that we do not want from color. Again, we do not want this. And to keep things simple, we are just identifying products, so let's not worry about the inventory value. So now this is all fine. Yeah. So now here we want to identify which products are repeats. I want to show a filter on this, right? So here basically we want to have only BT and ST. So these are the two things that basically all the items inside them are basically going to be. So if I add a total, so which is kind of messed it up. Let's do this slowly. Just want the grand total, which is about 253 items. All of them are repeats, right? No matter what other things are, like which segment, which style, does not matter. But then if we basically take the other items which are not in these two things, here only if the style. So let's look at a filter on style. If the style is basically so the customer said basically three things: the WH, BU and PL, right? So this is about 490 items, right? So those are the items, that is 490 plus 253 items that we want to basically flag. And how do we do that? Is there a easy way? So let me clear off all these filters. Yeah, so now all the products are showing. How do we do this? So here, if you do a filter, so one of the things you could do from a filter is this option called create set. What does it do? Create set is nothing but a way to name a filter. So now let's select basically only only 2 items. We don't. So ST and BT, let's say apply. So these are the 2 things that we really want, right? So now how do I name this filter and then save it? That is what is called basically set. As you can see, the rest of the filter dialog is same. So it would have been much easier if Tableau called this named filter. Anyway, that's what it is. So this is basically repeat verticals, right? So let's do, when you create a set, it kind of comes here. You can see once you create a set, then you can use it to filter, for example. So let's do this. Let's take a duplicate of this, get rid of all these filters, right? So now I'm gonna drag and drop and then see the same items that whatever we wanted, they have come here. Yeah, so let's call this worksheet set testing. Yeah, so that we could kind of use it. So I'm gonna drag it out here, so all the products are there. So now we are done with verticals. So now let's do the same thing for style. So let's edit this, and then basically we wanted 3 values, none, BU, PL and WH. Say apply. So we want those 3 values only, because I have a filter on vertical, so nothing is showing. So that's about 490 products are showing. So now I want to create basically a named filter for this. So I'm gonna call it a repeat styles. Say okay. So now we want to basically combine these 2. So ideally, so there is a way to combine 2 sets in Tableau. If I right click, this is not available. So when I went and read this up on the manuals, only if the set is basically 2 of the sets use the same dimension, we can combine. Unfortunately, we cannot combine this using the mouse. So how do we deal with this? How do we write a calculated field? So we are going to write a calculated field, and when it comes to set, basically the set returns a yes or no, or a true or false, like this field that you can see here. So all we need to do is write this and then pick the second one. So repeat verticals. So basically which I'm gonna say okay, and then now we added a flag. Yeah, so let's do 2 things. First, let's set this test this styles thing by dragging and dropping, and then the number is correct, and then let's get rid of this and now bring this item to this, and then we want basically repeat is equal to true, which gives us 743 item. So now you can see basically the ST and BT items are included, and the other verticals only when the style is any of these things it's included. Yeah, so that's how we basically identify the repeat items. So once we identify these repeat items and then showed it to the customer, he said no, we do not really have so many of these repeat items. Maybe some of these items are actually inactive, we don't use it anymore, right? So he wanted us to generate a report showing all these repeat items, where he will go and flag which items are actually repeatable, actually currently active, so that only for those items we want to consider them as repeats. So the process to do that, you should be already aware. So you can basically, you want to export all the items which are in this view. So one way is you can click here, go to view data. This is one of the options if you have a grand total open. Other easier option when you want to export the entire data underlying a total report is to go to this analysis, and then you will see this view data somewhere again here. Yeah, and then ignore the first one, which is nothing but a tabular representation of the same thing, and then you could see 743. I'm gonna export this, and then we should be done. Yeah, so that's all for this video. So once the customer marks this, we want to come back and bring that file and then further filter these repeat items. Yeah,